John Carpenter done an interview recently regarding the score for his new Halloween movie, and they did ask him about him returning to work in Hollywood, basically, because Halloween is a big budget movie, even though it only cost $10 million, but it's a bigger budget movie than he's used to over the past decade or so. So they did mention to him, like, how does it feel being back, and are you liking it? And you know, John Carpenter, he only tells you what he's feeling at the time, and whatever he tells you might be completely different in a year's time. So sometimes when you're doing an interview with John Carpenter or watching an interview with John Carpenter, you take it with a pinch of salt, because how many times has he said to us, this is the last Halloween movie, any sequel doesn't count, and then he comes back and does more and more. Whether he's directing, writing or scoring, he will be back if he needs the money, basically. He is a great guy. That score for the 2018 Halloween movie was absolutely amazing. But he done an interview recently anyway, and they did mention about him coming back to do more scoring for not just Halloween but other movies. And when they did mention Halloween for a sequel, he basically said, we'll be ready, we've all talked about it, we'll be ready. So he's definitely up for scoring the next sequel to Halloween. Now, there's no surprise that there was going to be a sequel. In fact, before the movie even came out, we already knew there was going to be a sequel to this one. Now, we've talked about it to death. We don't know what's going to happen in the sequel. We're just going to have to wait and find out. We didn't even know much about the recent Halloween movie, about what this plot was going to be, until just before it came out. So I think they'll keep it hush hush, because I think one of the biggest clues that we have is the fact that Cameron survived in the 2018 Halloween movie. His dad's Lonnie from the original Halloween, so I think he might have a part to play. I think a lot of people are talking about that. That might be a reason he survived. He wasn't really a main character in this film. He was just there so that Alison could lose her phone, basically. So I think he'll have a bigger role to play. I think they've kept him for other reasons, and I think that might be one of them. But going back to the score, I think that the Halloween 2018 score is one of the best scores I've heard in a long time. I think it's one of the best Halloween scores as well, one of the best John Carpenter scores. I've mentioned this many times as well, one of the tracks on the soundtrack, the Shape Hunts Alison, it's one of my favourite scores on any Halloween movie. So I think if John Carpenter brings to the next movie, whenever it might be, if he brings to the next movie what he brought to the 2018 Halloween, then I think that the score will be amazing again. So we can safely say that John Carpenter will be back for the next Halloween, and because he will be back, he's probably going to be some sort of a producer as well. So with John Carpenter being back, it maybe forces their hand and maybe trying to get David Gordon Green and Danny McBride back, because there is rumours that they might not be back for the sequel, and Blumhouse don't mind that because they don't mind changing it up from time to time. But I think because of the power of John Carpenter and his name, then it will draw people back in. I think that Jamie Lee Curtis would probably come back if John Carpenter returns, and other people will come back as well. I'm pretty sure that James Jude Courtney will come back once again as Michael Myers, because to me, James Jude Courtney has been one of the best Michael Myers in the entire franchise as well. There's still no specific date for the new Halloween to come out either. We've got the Blu-ray for the recent Halloween coming out at the end of December and the start of January. I think it's in February in the UK here, which is a bit of a bummer because we have to wait an extra month or so for the Blu-ray to come out. So yeah, there's still going to be Halloween news coming out over the next few months, and I think after the dust settles with the Blu-ray release, the 4K release, I think that we'll get more news on a potential Halloween sequel. Personally, I don't know if it's going to come out in 2019. I wouldn't like them to rush it, so if they don't have a solid script right now, then don't rush it to try and bring it out for October 2019. Save it for another year, bring it out in 2020. I think we'd all be happy with that, and I think the success of this Halloween from 2018 will still be fresh in our minds, especially if we bring back all the main cast. We've got Cameron coming back, Alison coming back, Jamie Lee Curtis coming back. So all those characters who survived in the 2018 Halloween, I'd like to see them return. So what do you guys think of the news of John Carpenter coming back? We already thought he would potentially come back anyway, because money talks, no matter what you say. But what do you think of that? If you think that John Carpenter is going to return, do you see everybody else returning as well? Leave your comments down below. Anyway guys, thanks a lot for watching again. Thanks for subscribing. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.